You just got the price quote back from the factory. Your target price was $18 a pair, but the factory quoted you $25. So you do what every new founder does. You send an email saying, hey, your price is too high. Can you give us a 15% discount? And the factory manager replies 20 minutes later, okay, we'll do it for 21. You celebrate. You think you just negotiated a great deal, but you didn't. You just ruined your product. Now look, factories operate in razor-thin margins. If you force a discount without changing the physical design of the shoe, they have to make that margin back somewhere. That beautiful 12-ounce canvas you wanted, it just became cheap 8-ounce canvases. That premium fresh glue, they just swapped it for something else. They may cut corners on quality control, and your shoes will fall apart in 3 months. Today, I'm going to teach you what the big brands do instead. It's called value engineering. I'll show you exactly where the hidden costs are in your design and how to negotiate your price down without the factory secretly destroying your quality. Now, the number one budget killer for new footwear brands is the outsole. A lot of designers want a fully customized rubber outsole with their brand's logo stamped directly on the bottom tread. It looks amazing on a sketch, but in reality, to make that custom sole, the factory has to cut a solid steel block called a mold. A single mold can cost $3,000 or more, and you don't just need one. You need a separate mold for every single size or half size that you plan to sell. So even before you buy the leather, the material, you're spending $30,000 to $40,000 just on tooling. If your first order is only 1,000 pairs, you just added $30 to the cost of every single shoe. For a very first collection, you can use an open mold. These are pre-existing unbranded designs that the factory or sole supplier already owns the tooling for. You pay zero mold fees. You save tens of thousands of dollars in upfront capital, and you differentiate your brand through the unique design, colors, and materials of the upper instead. Now, the second hidden cost isn't the materials, it's the stopwatch. Labor time is money. Look at your shoe design. How many individual pieces of material are there? An upper with 15 different small leather panels requires a worker to die cut 15 pieces, stitch, glue them together, and run them through a sewing machine one by one. Now, a shoe with 5 panels takes less than half the time to stitch. Every extra second on a shoe spent on the sewing machine adds to your final FOB price. Now, consolidate your panels. Look at your tech pack and ask, can these two overlapping panels just be combined into one larger piece of material? Instead of physically cutting them, can we just run a decorative stitch line down the middle to give the illusion of 2 panels? You just cut your labor time by 15%, dropping your unit price, and the customer won't even notice the difference. Now, this is the difference between blindly asking for a discount and strategically engineering your costs. When a design comes over budget, we never just yell at the factory for a cheaper price. We need to analyze the bill of materials line by line, and we find the inefficiencies. Then we go back to the factory and say, hey, if we change this custom mold to an open mold and we merge these 3 side panels into one, what does that do to our labor and tooling costs? We regularly suggest 3 to 4 design tweaks to save a brand $4 to $5 a pair without ever touching the core aesthetic or sacrificing durability. If you squeeze the factory, they will squeeze your quality. If you engineer the shoe, everyone wins. Now hit subscribe for more supply chain breakdowns, and I'll see you in the next one.